We're talking about God and how God will plant something in you. So I'm saying, hold up, God, Mike, God, Mike. If I wanted to plant a seed in Mary and then it grew and it came out a baby, that's what I could do. I'm God. Don't never lose sight, Mike. I'm God. Not no human. That's how you human think. I don't think like that. I'm God. What the man told you? My ways are not your ways, and my thoughts are not your thoughts. Because of how you think, you reject my ways. You reject my thoughts. Y'all want to think how y'all want to think, Mike. That's why it's not like that. I don't think like y'all. Mine's way higher than that. But if you ever get to know me, Mike, you'll be able to think like me. You'll be able to have ways like me. But y'all don't want to know me. Y'all want to know the world. I hate that world. In Genesis, the second chapter, verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden. And from this it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. So God, so you what the world you put gold in the land for, God? Where does gold come from? I'll read it again. Slow. Genesis 2 and 11. The name of the first is Pison. Why? And a river went out of Eden in the garden, and from thence it was parted. He's parting the garden so that the rivers that are running through the garden may provide the water that's needed. And the first one was Pison. That is which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is Beldam and oxen stones. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. So God, you mean tell me don't go there yet? All right, I ain't gonna go there yet. Ethiopia? Okay. Verse 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is which go towards the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden, and dressed it and to keep it. Why the Bible does not tell us about the fourth river? It tells us about the first river, Pison, there was gold. It tells us about the second river that compares about the whole land of Egypt. It tells us about the third river, that is which to go towards Assyria. Why the Bible does not tell us about the fourth river? The average person would tell a person when reading the Bible, start in Genesis. How? They don't have an earthly clue. They can't even get past the second chapter. Okay, I'm reading the Bible. What's going on with this Euphrates River? It's four rivers. Four is a completion with gold. I see this river. I see where this river going. I see what this river about. Assyria, Ethiopia, gold. What's up with this river? You don't know. So you're going to read through the whole Bible quoting scriptures, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, why the Bible does not tell me nothing about the Euphrates River? Yes, it do what? Something Ezekiel was talking about? Well, oh, you don't know Ezekiel, my bad. Some Isaiah said? Oh, all you know is a child was born. In the 16th chapter of Revelation, and the sixth angel poured out his bowl upon the great river of Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils. For they are the spirit of devils. Well, no need to talk about it. Mike, you had to keep reading. So when I go all the way back to Genesis, now I see what was in the Euphrates. 4 bound demonic angels. Now, when I get to the ending of time, in the 16th chapter of Revelation, now they're being loosed. And those 4 gonna have 200 million evil spirits with them to destroy ungodly people. I'll wait. Any day, any time. I will wait. Verse 14. And they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watch and keep his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Gideon. Y'all been around long enough, y'all can have it. If I take you all the way in the book of Zechariah, and I walk through Zechariah, in the beginning of Zechariah, I'm going to show you the high priest Joshua. I keep reading, then I'm going to show you the governor Zerubbabel. Why? Because in the 11th chapter of Revelation, it tells us about the law and the prophet. Why? Because in the 11th chapter, he says there was one who turned water into blood. Who did that? Moses. That's law. There was one where it didn't rain for 3.5 years. Who did that? Elijah, prophet. Joshua, the high priest, is going to be one of the ones in the ending of time. Zerubbabel, who's building the temple in the book of Zechariah, the governor, is going to be the other one that represents the law. So now when we walk through the book of Zechariah, we get a better understanding of what is being said in the beginning as well as the ending of time. Why? Because Zechariah put us on game. Zechariah tells us about the New Jerusalem and how the young boys and young girls are going to be playing in the streets, and how the old men and old women going to walk around on staff. God said, if it look good in your eyes and today how I put this thing together, just wait till the ending of time when you walk in the New Jerusalem, the holy city. But we don't know Revelation. How can you even open your mouth to teach me a book and you don't even know the whole book? If I go into the 22nd chapter of Revelation, what I'm going to see? The garden. If I go all the way in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, what I'm going to see? The garden. If I go in Genesis, the second chapter, what I'm going to see? The Euphrates River. If I go all the way in the 16th chapter of Revelation, I'm going to see what? The Euphrates River. How can you teach me a book and you don't know the entire book? All 66 books go together. So now we see what happened with the garden. The Bible says it was pleasant. The devil know what we see worries us. So now he flashes the cars. He flashes the houses. He flashes flesh, man or woman. He flashes the money. He flashes all that stuff to us. Why? Because it's pleasant. God said, thou shalt not covet. The first thing Adam and Eve did, they covet. God said, say, bro, don't touch that tree. God said, don't touch that tree. So now, as we read on through the Bible, I'm going to take you right there in the 11th chapter and tie it all together. As I'm riding on the highway from Houston back to New Orleans, Saturday night, Saturday evening, I say, God, what would you have me to preach in the morning? I turns on the radio. I'm listening to Trigger Man. I say, God, Trigger Man? He says, yes. Because you understand arrogancy. You was once arrogant, right? You understand deception. You was once deceived. You understand persecution. Why? Listen to the song. In the beginning, the names have been changed. Changed. To what? To protect the innocent. Come through the song. Go get his wife. Punch her in the mouth. Drag her through the streets. Then go get his son. He done dealt with his wife. He done lost his son. Persecution. Get the money. You know where it go. Arrogancy. Who are y'all on that roof shooting at us? Elliot Ness. Why? I thought we paid y'all off. We own the bosses, the judges, and every jury. But, now watch this. The brother said about the mic. I ain't never heard of Trigger Man. Oh. The lady said, Pastor Mike, same age. I never heard that song. Oh. Saturday, I preached out of what? The 10th chapter of John. Jesus was talking about a good shepherd. Jesus was talking about other sheep that was not of the fold. I said, hold up, go. He said, Mike, them people ain't heard of that. But all of those people heard of that song, they can relate. So you could use that to teach them. But as far as them, they never heard of it. So I would say, how in the world you never heard of Trigger Man? The most sampled song that every rapper used. Trigger Man. Here come the young lady. The young lady says, Pastor Mike, you know I watch you all the time on YouTube. She said, my mother seen me watching you, so my mother asked me who you be watching. That's Pastor Mike. That's my pastor. This is what a 10-year-old tells her mother. She said, now, Pastor Mike, you know what? Now, my mother watches Pastor Mike. She said, and you know what, Pastor Mike? That's why I asked you, could I pray? That's why I asked you, could I come up and sing? Because I know my mother now watches Pastor Mike, and my mother will see me with Pastor Mike. I said, wow. Wow. God said there are other sheep that's not of this fold. If we don't continue to grow, if we don't continue to update, if we don't continue to stay focused, we will never be able to get there. So you read in the book of Acts, Peter and John, they take off. They was unlearned. They ain't been in nobody's Bible college. They didn't go to nobody's seminary. Why? Because Peter and John, Jesus told them, whatever you see me do, whatever you hear me say, the Holy Spirit will bring it all back to your remembrance. So now the people trying to figure out and trying to wonder how these dudes could do what they doing. They walk and talk with Jesus. That's what made you an apostle. You walk and talk with Jesus. So now we come all through the book of Acts. We get to the 7th chapter, we see little Stephen is stoned. We get in the 8th chapter, now we pick up the dude Saul, who was holding the jackets for the people who was stoning little Stephen. When we get into the 9th chapter, now we see God have called Saul. But in the 10th chapter, Peter have to go to who? Cornelius. Who is Cornelius? Cornelius is a Gentile. Cornelius is the first Gentile that's going to get saved. In the 11th chapter, now when Peter get around the rest of them, Peter tells them about what Jesus brought to his remembrance, about how he said that John baptized with water, but y'all going to be baptized with fire. Then he went to talking about what happened with Cornelius, who was a Gentile. And he said Cornelius had received the same thing that they had received as Jews in the 2nd chapter of Acts, which was the day of Pentecost. So now as we come through the Bible and we poke in the 11th chapter, stop, wait, what the world going on? How much more have to happen after what's being prophesied in the 11th chapter of Acts? That's why you have the 11th chapter in your blue folder. You might say, well, he think he knew all that. I ain't been to nobody Bible college. I ain't been to nobody seminary. I'm dumb as a box of rocks. I'm intelligent retarded. But there's not an individual in this world who walk this Bible from Revelation to Genesis. I'm talking about from Revelation to Genesis. I'll wait for him. Bring me one, not two. Bring me one. And I would walk this Bible down his throat and then give him something to drink. See, bro, we've been so fake. We've been so phony. And the church is unbelievable. We done been caught up in so much deception. It is unbelievable. In the 24th chapter of Matthew, they asked him, what would be the ending of time? What will be the signs? Jesus said, the very first thing, see that you do not be deceived. That's the very first thing. In the 10th chapter of Genesis, Nimrod deceived all them people because he wanted to build his kingdom. Go all the way back in the 3rd chapter of Genesis, Satan was able to deceive the woman. Why? Because Satan knows what we see worries us. So you take somebody like Pastor Mike. Pastor Mike said, I don't give a damn about what they think or what they say or how they believe. But my people would say, well, Pastor Mike said he don't give a damn. I ain't talking about y'all, babe. I'm talking about them old dirty, low-down, no good so-and-sos over there. I don't give a damn about what they talking about. I don't give a damn about what they have to say. But for y'all, he said, Mike, be a good shepherd. Because the shepherd gonna lay down his life. I said, well, God, I gotta die. He said, no, Mike, you ain't gotta die. Die to yourself. That's what you died to. Because when you died to self, now you're able to help the sheep. Why? Because it's all about the sheep. So when I say I don't give a damn, I don't give a damn about what they talking about. I don't give a damn about what they done taught y'all in them churches. Because all of it was a damn lie. If I'm lying, come show me. I'll wait for any one of you good church-ass people. I'll wait. I'll wait. Go back to my community and talk like that. I don't give a damn about their money. I don't give a damn about their TV shows. I don't give a damn about their radio shows. I don't give a damn about nothing they want to do with me. The hell with them. Because all of it is a bunch of BS anyway. Why? What the world I need to teach you to kiss somebody's ass for? You don't kiss no ass. You trust God. You don't never kiss nobody's ass. You trust God. Why? If God don't do it, the hell with it. If God don't do it for you, the hell with it. But you want me to run behind them old no-good-ass bishops and them old no-good-ass apostles? Them some dirty, low-down, no-good-ass men. And you want me to kiss their ass? Why? So I could be on TV with them? Why? So I could be on their radio show? Why? So I could be with them? The hell with all of them. I don't give a damn about none of them. Why? Because look what they done did to y'all, man. They ain't teach y'all nothing. What y'all know? What y'all know? Teach me what y'all know. I'll wait. I'll wait. Come on, bruh. From Revelation all the way to Genesis. One and one says in Revelation, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him. Who is him? Who is him? Y'all better start questioning these jokers in these pulpits. Y'all better start questioning these jokers. Stop going for along with these people telling y'all. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave to him. Who is him? I need to know who is him. To show unto his servant things which must shortly come to pass. John. Jesus is showing John his revelation. Well, Pastor Mike, everybody got a purpose. You're right. Wait till I get to the 11th chapter of Genesis. I'm going to show you your purpose. Shortly to come, and he sent and signified it by his angels unto his servant John. See why I tell y'all don't let nobody give y'all no half a verse? See why I tell you all stop letting people give y'all one verse? Verse 2 says, who bear record of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ. Who is doing this? John. And of all the things that he saw. Who is he? John. Verse 3. Blessed is he that read, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. What else have to happen? What else have to happen? Because when we get in that 16th chapter of Revelation, when that river dries up, hold that, Paul. I'm going to teach you this. On this map, you have Palestine, you have Jerusalem. You have Paul traveling all through here, right? And I'm going to show you where the river is and how that river is going to dry up to give access from Palestine to Jerusalem. I'm going to take you back in the 2nd chapter of Thessalonians. I'll be back, Revelation. Come in 2nd Thessalonians. Not you, Timothy. 2nd Thessalonians. I'm going to take in 2nd Thessalonians. And I'm going to show you where in 2nd Thessalonians. 2nd Thessalonians 2. 2nd Thessalonians 2 and 3 says, let no man deceive you by any means. That's why I say I don't give a damn. That's why I say to hell with them. Let no man deceive you. You smarter than that, man. Y'all have the Spirit of God in you. You have a lion in you. How the hell you gonna let somebody play you like that? You're too great for that, people. God didn't create you to be no dummy. God did not wake you up this morning for somebody to make a fool out of you. Ain't no way in the world. But you all are allowing people to deceive you. For what? For what? For a house? For a car? For some money? For a business? For a job? For a spouse? For a significant other? You gonna let somebody deceive you for that? And the hell with all that. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of destruction. If I take you back in the 9th chapter, I'm going to show you. People keep talking about people falling away from the church. No, this is the church, period. This is the church, period. Why? He already told you the voice of the bride and the voice of the bridegroom will not be in you no more. Will not be in you no more. Church, gone. So now he's in place. Who? The Antichrist. Who? The one got all these people following him and believing in him. God have already allowed the 200 million evil spirits to come through. When them 4 angels come out of that river, verse 4, who opposeth and exalt himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sit in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Second Thessalonians 1 and 6 says, seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. That's why when the 4 come out of the river, the 200 million evil spirits are going to be with the 4 to deal with the ungodly. Why? He told us. Say, bro, but y'all sitting in these churches hollering and pouring oil and cutting a fool and running up and down and listening to all them old lies they're telling y'all and this and that. See, bro, it's setting y'all up. Y'all won't learn nothing about God. So when them false prophets come through here, y'all gonna roll with them. Jesus already told them they were among you. Jesus already said they're already among us. Watch this. Second Thessalonians 1 and 6. Sin is the righteous thing with God to repay tribulation to them that troubled you. Verse 7. And to you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Lord Jesus shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, battle Armageddon, and flaming fire taking vengeance on them that know not God, the ungodly, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. Why? Mike, go all the way back in the 6th chapter of Genesis. In the 6th chapter of Genesis, God destroyed mankind. The earth was still here. The earth was still here. God raised the water. God let the fish have fun, for they ate the people. God destroyed godly and ungodly together. Why? Because the seed of the godly people of Seth married with the seed of the ungodly people of Cain. So now you got the godly and the ungodly mixing. God said, no, we're not going to have that. He destroyed all of them. Why? Go back to the 3rd chapter of Genesis. God tells the serpent, I'm going to put intimacy between thou seed and the woman's seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Who is that? Jesus, the one to come. God gave the promise to the woman. Why? Because the man was a duck. He rather eat the fruit. God told him don't do it. But he rather listen to the woman. He rather blame God. He rather blame the woman. So God gave the promise. Don't ever forget this, people. Here they come. Well, you got to follow the bloodline. I don't give a damn about no bloodline. I won't stay with the seed. God told the woman she's going to have the seed, and God gave the woman the promise of the seed, but we don't know nothing about the seed. That's why we get in the 13th chapter of Revelation, and now we see he's going after the what? The seed of the woman. But here come these jokers. You got to sow a seed. You got to sow a seed. You got to sow a seed. When all the while he destroying the seed. Why? In the beginning he told them, hey, what the world done happened with these folks? Lord Jesus, they done messed us up. What the hell? God, what happened? Deception. Deception. He went to Bible college. Okay, for what? For what? To learn how to do what? He went to seminary. For what? To learn how to do what? Why y'all don't know nothing if they went to Bible college and seminary? Why y'all don't know nothing and they got the damn DR in front of their name? Doctor, doctor, what? The hell you know, doctor? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. See, Brett hurt my heart to see what's getting ready to happen to y'all. These people allow the lottery to go up to billions of dollars to distract y'all. To take the last little penny you got. You're buying 50 tickets. You're buying $100 worth of tickets. And y'all getting together to buy tickets. Really, bro? Really? How many of y'all know about these laws these people about to destroy us with? Because the day is the day to vote. But you're more worried about winning the lottery. And them people says that you're more likely to get struck down by lightning before you win some lottery. Another distraction, man. Another distraction. Go back and study that lottery. Years and years ago, a dude tried to blow the whistle on the lottery, on how they controls it, where they want it to come out at. How they control that number, those balls. They control those balls. And they pick an area where they want that money to go to. And the guy who was blowing the whistle on that, they got rid of him. Deception. Oh, y'all so deceived. Lord have mercy. The love of money is the root of all evil. Pastor Mike, you gotta have it. I ain't gotta have nobody but God. I don't have to have no one but God. God gonna make sure you all right, people. Stop stressing yourself. Stop worrying. What are you tripping off of? And the flame fire asking vengeance, taking vengeance on them that know not God, and that they obey not the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. Why? Because here they come with fire. Those four ain't fire. Not the four beasts, but the four angels out of the Euphrates River with fire. If I take you in the 4th chapter of Malachi, Malachi tells us it's about an oven. But in the 3rd chapter, they got y'all believing about some 10%. I've sat here for over 2.5 years, every day, never missed not one single day. And I told them way back when that they've been lying to y'all about 10%. And I've been waiting for 2.5 years for anybody in the world to come show me different. And nobody showed up yet. Nobody. But yet, y'all been running in church giving y'all 10%. For what? For what? Because it don't go like that. But just like they tell you what's in the 3rd chapter, why y'all don't know what's in the 4th chapter of Malachi? Why y'all don't know nothing about the 4th chapter of Malachi? I'll read it. I'll read it for you. Pastor ain't gonna read it for you. I'll read it for you. In the 4th chapter of Malachi, I'll read it. Watch this. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that comes shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Ball game. Why y'all don't know that? Malachi, Habakkuk, Joel. When you study the minor prophet Jonah, you gotta know the book of what? Acts. Jesus sent Peter and John and the rest of them where? He said Jerusalem, Samaria, Judea, and the uttermost parts. God tells Jonah to go where? To Nineveh. Just like in New York, they have these boroughs. You have all these other. You have however they go in New York, all them never little boroughs around Nineveh. They had all those other cities around Nineveh, just like they had all those other cities around Jerusalem. So Jonah have to go to Nineveh to tell the people about God, because God was going to destroy Nineveh. John and Peter and the rest of them, they got to go to Jerusalem, Samaria, Judea, and the uttermost parts, because God is going to destroy the place. Malachi is letting us know about those who are proud, those who are doing wickedly. Oh, they're going to burn them up. They're going to burn them up. But Pastor going to tell you all, you got to pay 10%. Where's that in the Bible? I've been waiting for over 2.5 years. Please tell me. And I stated over and over again, when they show me and tell it to me, I'll never come on again. I will never ever come on here again. They ain't showed up yet. They haven't showed up yet. Friday before last, on Running Friday, Friday was that Saturday, I taught because the brother asked me, Pastor Mike, can you send those verses again on 10%? I said, I'll do better than that. I'll teach it again. And I'll teach it again. And I'll teach it again. And I'll teach it again. You be turning this book, bro. I'm going to read something to you. Listen to this. Although Pharisees and Sadducees are frequently denounced together in the New Testament, they had little in common except their antagonism to Jesus. The Sadducees were the party of the Jerusalem and the high priesthood. Who was that? Sadducees. Of what? Jerusalem. Autocracy and high priesthood. They had made their peace with the political rulers and had attained position of wealth and influence. Who? The Sadducees. Also, keep reading. Temple administration and rituals were their specific responsibilities. Who? The Sadducees. Hold up. Jeez, hold up. Were they over the temple or were they over the church? They were over the temple, not the church. Because it wasn't no church yet, right? The church was where? In Jerusalem. When the Holy Spirit came, that was the first fruit. But here they come in church, come January. Come on now, y'all got to get y'all first fruit. What's that? It's 2023. You got to give $223. And y'all fall for that foolishness. And y'all fall for that foolishness. Y'all don't see how these people be deceiving y'all? What you do it for? You don't know. You going by what somebody told you. It ain't nothing to do with no church. Nothing. Temple administration and rituals were their specific responsibilities. The Sadducees held themselves aloof from the masses and were unpopular with them. The Pharisees attempt to apply the law to new situations were rejected by the Sadducees. I'll read it again. Slow. The Pharisees attempt to apply the law to new situations were rejected by the Sadducees, who restricted their concept of authority to the Torah or Mosaic law. They did not believe in resurrection, spirits, or angels. Who? These Sadducees. How y'all don't believe in spirits? How y'all don't believe in angels? How y'all don't believe in resurrection? When y'all run in the temple, you Sadducees. I'll wait. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Pastor don't teach y'all that. Mark 12 and 18, Luke 20 and 27, Acts 23 and 8. Their fate was largely a series of negations, with the result that they left no positive religious or political system. A political system. Religious system. With the result that they left no positive religious or political system. While the Pharisees welcomed proselytes, Matthew 23 and 15, the Sadducees' party was closed. None but members of the high priestly family of Jerusalem could become members. With the destruction of the temple in AD 70, the Sadducees' party to an end. Modern Judaism traced its roots to the Pharisees. When did it destroy God? AD 70. By who? Antiochus. Who is Antiochus? That's what you're talking about, huh, Daniel? But Daniel, you go along with the vision that John had in the book of Revelation. Yes, Mike. But what about you, Nehemiah? Because Nehemiah, you had to rebuild the walls. You had to rebuild the gates. How many gates was it? 8. 8 gates into Jerusalem. So we get in the 5th chapter of John, Jesus come through the gate. What gate? One of them gates that boy had them rebuilt when he had built the walls. Who? Nehemiah. So when he comes through that gate, he comes through what? The porch of Solomon. Who's by the porch of Solomon? The man by the pool of Bethesda. But he had to come through the gate. What gate? One of the 8 gates that Nehemiah had rebuilt when he rebuilt Jerusalem. Why you build New Jerusalem, Nehemiah? Because when the children of Israel come out of bondage after them 70 years, out of exile after them 70 years, they have somewhere to live. Where? In Jerusalem. What Jerusalem? Jerusalem that I built. I said, but why you burn them walls down? I wanted to destroy Jerusalem. So when you get into the book of Kings and you really study, one of them went into the building and he found the book. He said, well, where that book come from? It been in the temple when they burned it down. So you had kings that were reigning and had claimed to be kings, and they didn't go by what was in the book. They didn't care about the book. Why? They added new laws. Who? The kings. So now, God say, Mike, read the book backwards. You'll get a better understanding. Because if you come from that front and try to go to that back, you'll never get there. Revelation, as it is said, is the prophecy of what's going to happen. How much of that stuff in Revelation has already happened? You don't know. You know why? Because your pastor don't know the book. So how you going to know what's happened? And he don't even know the book. How you going to know what has already happened and what's going to happen if you don't even know the book? When he said, blessed are those that read it Hear it, keep it. Ain't my fault. I asked God for it, just give it to me. You might, what they want to do with that? Read the book. In the 11th chapter of Genesis, ball game. Genesis 11:1 says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Why? Go back to the 10th chapter, verse 9, 10 and 9. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. He did this in the sight of God. And in the beginning of his kingdom, in the beginning of who kingdom? Nimrod. In the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. That's his first stop. His next stop, Erech. That's his second stop. Akkad, that's his third stop. Calneh, his fourth stop. In the land of Shinar. In the land of Shinar. Get in the 11th chapter. Now we get to see what's going to happen. Verse 2. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and dwelt there. Where is Shinar? Modern day Babylonia. Modern day Babylonia. All the way back to the 18th chapter of Revelation. The destruction of Babylon. Go in the 17th chapter, the great whore, Babylon. Go in the 16th chapter, 7 bowl judgments, Battle of Armageddon. Verse 3. And they said one to another, go, let us make brick. Where God at? Where's God? Well, all of us have a purpose in life. What's your purpose? God give us a purpose. You got a bunch of people who don't have a clue because they've been deceived. They say, let us make brick. Watch this. Who is us? Who is us? Because if I take you in Genesis, God said, let us make man and woman, male and female. Let us. Who is us? Who is him? Who is they? Who is he? Y'all don't ask no questions. Y'all just sit there and listen to that foolishness. Okay, well, let's ask some questions. Verse 3. And they said one to another, go, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had bricks for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go, 2, let us build us. Let us build us. Let us build us. Sound like them Sadducees. They don't believe in no resurrection. They don't believe in no spirit. They don't believe in no angel. They don't believe in none of that. But here come you Pharisees with the Torah, with the Mosaic law. Them Sadducees ain't want to hear that. Why? They had the money. Don't come in our temple with that. Why? Because they ran the temple. Who? The Sadducees. I'll wait. I ain't finished. Gets deeper. Verse 4. And they said, go, let us build a city, and a tower whose top many reach unto heaven, and let us make a name, and we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. We're going to build us a city. We're going to make us a name. Verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city, and the tower which the children of men build. God came down. God seen the tower that men had built. God had nothing to do with that. It's like church folks like to lie to you and tell you, God gonna bless you with a nice house. I can see it. Nice car garage. Nice this, nice that. Because they want to do it for their name. Not God. Them. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men build. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they do, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be able to restrain them, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. God said, oh my God, these jokers done messed up again. They all won again. They all won again. What the world? Didn't I destroy y'all the first time for that? The godly and the ungodly married. Is not that is what said in the 6th chapter? And there was nothing but violence. So now God said, y'all done got together again. What's wrong with y'all fools? So now when I read the Bible said he came to the world received him not. His own reject him. Well, who the world are you supposed to go to then, God? Who? Mike, go back and read what Paul said. Paul says in Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and those who are called according to his purpose. He said, well, verse 29, look what he says. For those who are predestinated. That's who he called. So God, you mean to tell me, Mike, I have already predestinated you. I already know what you're going to do. I already know who's mine. I already know who's not mine. That's why the message comes Saturday. Jesus say, my sheep know my voice. Let me go read it. I'll be back, Genesis. I'll be back. Call in, know it, Romans 8:28, Romans 8:28, Romans 8:28, Romans 8:28. Okay, well, what 29 says? Just like 1 Corinthians 2 say, and I have need, seen, yeah, okay, well, what verse 10 says? Romans 8:29 tells us, I'll read both of them. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose, for whom he did foreknow. He also predestinated to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Hold up, God. Hold up, God. Well, in the beginning you said, let us create man in our image and our likeness. Paul said, for whom he did foreknow. He also predestinated to be conformed to the image of his Son. So why we out there cutting the food? Why we begging the world? Why we running behind the world? Verse 6. Genesis 11:6. And the Lord says, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they have begun to do. And nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do, what they have purpose to do. Why? They all one now. They all one now. If they can get us all believing one way, we're no better than this right here. If we fall into that foolishness with the godly and the ungodly, Cain and Seth, the intermarrying, they became one. Adam said it best. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. We one. God said, let us create in the image and the likeness. So how you going to teach me a book, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the average church goer, the average pastor, can't even get past Genesis 1, 2, and 3. So if I take it back in that 3rd chapter, God says man has become like us unless he put forth his hand to the tree of life. Wait, they ain't never told me that. They told me name it and claim it. They ain't never told me that. They told me sow a seed. They never told me that. How? That's what the Bible says. Genesis, the 3rd chapter, I'll read it. Verse 22. Genesis 3 and 22 says, and the Lord said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. So is all this other foolishness we doing. Because if I go all the way to the end of the book, all the way at the end of the book, all the way in the book, all the way to the 2nd chapter of Genesis, it tells me about the tree of life. Genesis 22 and 14 says, I'll back it up to 13. Genesis 22 and 13 says, I'm Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they, verse 14, blessed are they that do his commandment, that they may have right to the tree of life, and might enter in through the gates into the city. Not heaven, into the city. What city? Take it back in Zechariah tomorrow and walk. What city? I take it back in Jerusalem and Isaiah and walk you. What city? I take you back into Ezekiel and walk you. What city? I take you in the 12th chapter of Daniel and walk you. See, bro. And oh, that mercy, Jesus. So you mean to tell me it starts with the tree and ends with the tree? What's all this in between stuff? From Genesis all the way to the book of Jude. The book of Jude is the book before Revelation. That Bible holds 66 books. Book of Revelation, 1 book. So from Genesis to Jude, those are 65 books. In those 65 books is the history of faith. How do I know? Because Paul told me in Ephesians that we are saved. We are saved by grace through faith. So those 65 books are history of faith. Who God used, how he used them, when he used them to deal with our faith. When we get in the book of Revelation, now here y'all go some prophecy. Now what has already happened? In your blue folders, we're going to study Paul's journeys. When we study Paul's journeys, we got to study the 7 churches. Why? Because in your blue folder, you have the 7 churches. The 7 churches are in Asia Minor. The 7 churches are on the outskirts of Rome. This is why Paul, when he wrote the book of Rome, it wasn't to no church. It's to the believers who are in Rome. So when you study 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians, you get a better understanding when did this earthquake take place. When you go and you study the chronological order of the books that was written first, you get James, then you get Galatians, then you start to get these other books, which give you a better understanding of the letters in which Paul written when he was writing to the churches, will give you an understanding of time. Why? Because when you go in the Old Testament, the only way they were able to keep up with time is when they look at who was the king. He reigned from this year to that year. He reigned from this year to that year. So we know the time. Just like today in this day and time. If we use presidents, we know this president was the president from this year to that year. From that year to that year. That's how they kept up with time in the Bible. That's how they kept with a lot of stuff up in the Bible. So now when we go to running this Bible, say, bro, if you do not know the book from Revelation, that last verse in Revelation, I'm soon to return and I'm coming quickly, all the way to the very verse of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. If you don't know from that last verse to that first verse, if you don't know that whole book, you don't have nothing to tell me. Not about that book. You don't stand an earthly chance. Why? Because y'all just studied the Old Testament. Miss me. Y'all just studied the New Testament. Miss me. Y'all just know one verses. Miss me. When the whole book go together. So all this time, we've been cold faking. All this time. Did we get caught up? When Rome was in power? Yes. Then Rome fell. It was at the ending of the falling of Rome. Boom. Now the church taking over. Now the church is taking over. God so strategically put this thing together, it's unbelievable. So now in the 16th chapter, God is allowing them 4 angels that were in that river, in the Euphrates River. Now they're coming out, and they got 200 million evil spirits. And they're going to run through this earth. They're going to run through this earth, dealing with the ungodly. If I take you deeper into these trumpet judgments, and he got a head like a lion. Why? That's his intelligence. He got a mouth. Why? To devour, to deceive. He got a tail. Why? Because the tail represents a sting. The tail represents poison. Say, but y'all take a joke and put him way up here. Way up here. And he can't teach you nothing. He ain't been teaching you nothing. Now when he come down to that book, they've been sitting in these churches teaching y'all how to serve them. What y'all know about serving God? What you know about trusting God? What do you know about believing in God? Nothing. Why? They ain't been teaching you that. They teach you to be God. And if God don't do it, now you mad with God. God ain't lied to you. That Negro lied to you. He lied to you, not God. Say, well, we serve a loving, merciful, kind, caring God. Jonah knew that. Jonah knew that, people. That's why when God told him to go to Nineveh, man, he got on the boat to go somewhere else. Man, you tripping, God. I ain't going over there. I ain't going over there. But then he winds up in the great fish. Now the fish to spewed him out. Now he got to go to these people. Say, Jonah, but why you was upset? I knew God was going to forgive him, man. I knew God wasn't going to trip. God never changes his mind. He didn't change his mind what he would do to Nineveh. Nineveh changed their mind on how they was going to serve God. So it wasn't no need to send no judgment. Ain't no need me to judge them, man. Why? They done got themselves together. Let them not have gotten themselves together and watch what I would have did to them. But they got themselves together. So I fall back. You did what you had to do. Peter, James, and John, people started getting themselves together. They did what they had to do. But then here come Saul, Paul. I'm going to send you to a whole group of people, the Gentiles. But he had already told us that in Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. How we don't know this stuff, people? But the Gentiles started all the way out with Nimrod and them. Where? Noah's grandsons, man. Them dudes was cold, ruthless. I don't know. Read the Bible. How y'all read Genesis? How y'all didn't read this stuff? How y'all didn't read this stuff? verse 19. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou coming to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom, and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zabiam, even unto Lash. And these are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. See how all this stuff's starting to play out? Let's bag it up. Let's go to verse 2. Now let's jump down to 4. Genesis 10 and 4. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodam. Kittim is modern day Cyprus. If I bag it up to Media, that's the modern day Medias. If I go to Javan, that's the modern day Greek. The names has been hidden to protect the innocent. Remember the song. Verse 5, Genesis 10 and 5. By these were the isles of Gentiles. By these were the isles of Gentiles. The coastland people. Who? Gentiles. Where the believers at? I'll wait. Genesis 10 and 5. By these, who? The sons of Japhet, Gomorrah, and Magog. Uh-oh. There go that name, Magog. In order to teach the battle on Armageddon, I got to go to Magog. If I teach Magog, I got to go into Ezekiel. But I'm not going to confuse you with that yet. Might get it during the week, might get it next week. But we all got to come back right here, where it all started, in the 10th chapter of Genesis. And all of us who read the Bible, all of us who started reading the Bible, and we started in Genesis, you mean to tell me you didn't read the 10th chapter? You mean to tell me you didn't read this 10th chapter? Because this is where all the foolishness starts. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. So where all these other so-called people come from? Where's Israel? And one of these children. Where's Abraham? And one of these children. Where are God's chosen people? And one of these children. Where are the godly people? I'll wait. 11th chapter. Watch this. Verse 7. Go, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. God, who is us? Some angels? No, Mike, go in the beginning. I say, let us create the heavenly host, man. We going on and see what the world going on, man. Oh, okay. Genesis 11 and 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another speech. Verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left one to build the city, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from this did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. God told them to do something, they ain't do it. They ain't do it. God said, all right, I'm going to show y'all something. If it's in the Old Testament, it's in the New Testament. God said, I allowed y'all to still be here. Y'all done came through Noah, Noah's sons. Y'all here, what y'all doing? So now watch this. You either gonna do what God say, or he gonna make you do it. Believe that. All they were supposed to do is replenish the earth and move out. Not that foolishness they tried to do. But they wanted to come together and listen to one man and try to go against God. So God scattered them once again. Jesus said, Jerusalem, Samaria, Judea, go. They ain't want to go. They just wanted to hang around Jerusalem. God, don't worry about it. I got something for y'all. Come here, Saul. So, what they call themselves not going, when Saul showed up, they ran. So now, even before God called him to do the work, he was already doing the work as far as helping to spread the gospel. Why? Because when Saul came, they ran. And they ran to go do what Jesus had told them to do. Go and spread the gospel. So now, here it is. God said, okay, Mike, they won't do what they want to do. I'm going to show them better. So now God scattered them. Now you got over 4,000 different languages. And this is where it all came from. Get in the 12th chapter. God said, come here, Abraham. I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you so that the world would know who I am. So it started with Abraham. Ball game. That's enough. That's enough. Y'all go vote. Brother asked me on YouTube. The brother asked me on TikTok for a blue folder. So another brother said, you could Google that. Google this? Nah. And then if you did Google it, you wouldn't know what to do with it. You wouldn't know what to do with it. You open it up, you got the proper chronological order of the Bible. Okay, that's new to you. You don't know what to do with that. Then you got to break down chronological order of the Old and the New. Then you have a breakdown of how the different books was dispersed. Then you have, we're going to go into the book of Acts, and we're going to dismantle that 11th chapter. Why? Because the 11th chapter of Acts is the structure of the church. The 11th chapter of Acts give us a better understanding what Jesus was talking about in that 23rd, 24th, and 25th chapter of Matthew. Then after that, you got the white horse, the red horse, the black horse, the pale horse. You got the 6th chapter of Revelation. You got a breakdown of each horse. After that, you got the 20th chapter of Revelation. Why? Because the 20th chapter give us the game about what's going to happen during the what? 1,000 years of the millennium. After that, you have the flesh, the work of the flesh, the fruit of the spirit. And it's defined to give you a better understanding of the definition of the words and what's being recorded in the Bible. After that, now you got the thing of the Jewish holidays and how they're being observed and is logged in with scriptures. After that, then you got a book, a breakdown of the book of John. Why? Because John said in the beginning with the Word, and the Word was with God. So I got to go all the way to the beginning and get a better understanding of the whole book. Why? Because only John deals with the deity of Christ. I teach you John, I got to teach you 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. Why? Because 1st and Thessalonians deal with the second coming of Christ. If I teach you Thessalonians, I got to teach you Romans. Why? Because Romans give us physical law as well as a spiritual law. So John, Romans, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, boom, that goes together. That's why it is in there. Then you have the maps on how Paul traveled through Asia Minor, starting these churches. Then you have a breakdown of the seven churches in the book of Revelation. Then you have a breakdown on the book of Daniel, the first, midway, and second way leading up to the 70 weeks, dealing into the tribulation. Then after that, you got what? You got the seven trumpet judgments. You got the seven bowl judgments. This blue folder. What you gonna do? Google. You can't Google this, baby. No. No. This have to come from God. This have to come from God. And everything I name is in this book. And gonna teach it to you. Gonna teach it to you. Verse by verse by verse. Google the blue folder? No. That's why God said, Mike, when you're 4 years up, then I want you to go learn from what you taught. I said, how is that possible, God? He said, every day you was teaching, now you have to go learn from what you taught. He said, Mike, you brought 2 years during the pandemic. Once the pandemic was over, I said, give me 2 more years. That's your 4 years. Go back to the Euphrates River. It's 4 angels. Go back to the book of Revelation. It's 4 beasts. Go back to Daniel. He gonna put us on game of the 4. Go back to Ezekiel. Wheel in the middle, we're talking about the 4. Go to Isaiah. Isaiah's talking about the seraphim and the wings and how it covered the head. That's the 4. Go to Jesus. The first disciples he chose were 4. Perfection and completeness. Ball game, baby. Ah, Lord, y'all better go read. Go read before you come play with me. That's what you do. Go read. You don't know enough. You don't know enough. I don't need to open that book. I'll tell you what your Bible say. I'll tell you what your Bible say. Bring it. And we're going to start right there in Revelation. We're going to run it. So now, this is why I never preached out the 9th chapter. Why? Because the 9th chapter have to be taught. And you can't just run through that 9th chapter. Why? Because you're dealing with some more woes. Your first woe gone. Here come the second and the third woe. So by the time we get to the 10th chapter, oh, hold up. Now we're bringing the ball game to the end of what? The trumpet judgments. But to get a better understanding of the woes, I got to take it into what? Isaiah 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So that you would understand the woes. So now we get to Revelation. You got woe 1, woe 2, woe 3. So now as I teach the 9th chapter, now you see how all this stuff come into play. Why? Because the 9th chapter is one of the most dangerous chapters in the book. Then I'll roll you off into that 14th chapter. When I get in that 14th chapter, I'm going to bring you back to that 2nd chapter. When I bring you that 2nd chapter, I got to go back to Ezekiel. When I take it to Ezekiel, I got to take you back to the 49th chapter of Genesis. See, y'all ain't ready. Y'all got to write this stuff down and read it what it say. Go put it right here. Go put it right here. I already know it going to say. That was a lot. Bro, that was a lot, bro. See, bro, on the real people, I be out there. On some real, I be out there. It take me at least an hour or 2 to come back to Michael. If somebody walk up right now, another, I wouldn't have a clue of this earthly stuff. The Bible said, and God took John up in the spirit and showed him that stuff. Took him up in the spirit and he was able to see this stuff. When I get to teaching heavy like that, I be so far in the spirit, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I be like, it takes me a minute to come down. It takes me a minute to come down. And that's why I be so real with y'all. Say, bro, I don't say this to be facetious. I don't say this to put nobody down. I don't say it to belittle no one. I'm just showing you the power of God. There's no way in the world, no one human being can know that Bible like that. It's no way possible. You gonna go get a scholar, you go get a professor. It's no way in the world. That is too much information for one individual to be able to contain like that. I know it ain't nobody but God. I know it ain't nobody but God. I'm just trying to help you all to get to that point where God will have y'all to be. Why? What I'm gonna do with all this? Yeah, y'all go. Y'all need to know this stuff. Y'all really need to know this stuff, people. Why? We turn that bend. Oh my Lord. We turn that bend into 2023. Lord have mercy. Look at the church. Think. Take a minute and think. Look at the church going into the pandemic. How it was. Everybody was on their high horse. Everybody was on their high horse coming into the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit. They still tried to ride that horse. Got into a year of that pandemic, God knocked them off. Because now, if you belong to that church, you only listen to that pastor. But during the pandemic, you was able to hear him, her, him, her, him, her. So now y'all hearing stuff that y'all never heard before. Why? Because he only taught one way. He only have 10 sermons. So now, oh no, that's not what it, oh no, that's not, so that's in the Bible? Wait. See how God scattered it? See how God scattered it? God is strategically putting this thing together. So now, if I would have taught this years ago, y'all wouldn't have paid me no mind. But now y'all starting to see this stuff happening. Why? Because y'all have to see it. I talk about moms. But then when I put a picture up with moms laying in the bed, now praying, God bless you, this, that, and other. Okay. Well, why I didn't get that kind of response before the picture? Because we have to see it to believe it. That's what the world did to us. The apostle said, unless I see the holes in his hands, unless I see the holes in his feet, I ain't believing that dude rose from no dead. I gotta see it to believe it. And that's what the world have done to us today. We have to see it to believe it. The young generation, that's them all day. They have to see it. If I call my grandbaby right now, if I call one of my grandbabies, them 2-3-year-olds, you know what they're gonna say? Papa, I can't see you. That's the first thing they're gonna say. Papa, I can't see you. Why? Because they're being reared where they have to see you to talk to you. So if they talking to you and they can't see you, they don't want to talk on the phone. Nah. So God is allowing you all to see it, that you may believe it. Other than that, a while back, they had no questions. And nobody had no questions, just listening. Now y'all see this stuff to happen. Oh, so this what, I just pray that it don't be too late. That's all I pray. It's my prayer, man. That's why it hurts me like that. Y'all should have been knowing this stuff. But when that prosperity got into the church, it poisoned the church. It poisoned the church and blinded the people. So now we chase after materialistic things of life instead of the Creator. And a lot of us, we're going to die like that. Why? Because it's so injected in us. And we just rather die with it in us than turn away from it. Why? Because you really believe. You really believe that stuff they done told you. And none of it ain't going to happen. Send me the verse. Send me the scripture. Who in the Bible had a season? Please send it to me. Please. Who in the church had a who in the Bible ever had a season? Send it to me. Send it to me. I need to read it. That's nowhere in the Bible. And after you send me that, then send me where it's in the Bible that If you have a need, sow a seed. That if you give God, God gonna bless you. Send it to me. I already gave you Romans 8:28 and 29. So that kills that what you're even trying to come with. Why? Because he already knew you. He predestinated you. He foreknew you. So what you did first? For God to do anything for you. Boy, they the cold plays, y'all, in these churches. They cold plays, y'all. Cold plays, y'all. Go back and read the 11th chapter of Genesis. Well, let us do this. Let us do that. What you mean let us do it? Who is us? You do that. I don't want to do that. But if we could get everybody to see it one way, we got you. That's why they came with that thing years ago. What color the dress? Some people say green, some people say black, some people say blue. They had to figure out a way to make y'all see things one way. So then after they came with the color of the dress, then they came with how do you hear? Do you hear Laura or do you hear this other thing? Laura or this other thing? You listen, you dial a number, they're gonna say Laura. You dial a number, it's gonna say Laura. But if you dial a number, it say Laura, then dial it quick, then it says something else. Then dial it again, gonna say something else. Oh, cool game. So you heard Laura, you heard this and that. But they had already programmed it to be that way. Why? The green dress is to get y'all to see everything the same way. What you hear was to cause division. Why? Jesus said it best. A divided house cannot stand. So you arguing about you heard that, blah, 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 blah. Well, I heard this, I heard that, I heard that, I heard that. Okay, cool. Got him. Messed y'all up. But yeah, y'all reading the Bible. What Bible y'all reading? Cool game, huh? Jesus said the shepherd will lay down his life for the sheep. God said, Mike, when you died to self, I showed you I got you. That's why I give you what I give you. Because I know you're going to take care of the sheep with it. So I feed and feed and feed and feed. Words of encouragement, words of inspiration. Teach, protect. Because that's what a good shepherd does. He makes sure the sheep are all right. If I was hungry, all I had to do is say, y'all, look, y'all have blessed me. If I really need it, y'all know Pastor might need this and that. Y'all will come through. That's why I don't beg you. I don't pimp you. I don't run game on you. I keep it 100 with you. Because it's going to come a time when I just may really need you. That's why right now they're stressing. Why? People not going to church like they used to. People not giving like they used to. They stressing. Some of them shutting the church down. Some of them stopped preaching. Some of them gave up. Why? They were hired to do the job. Jesus said it best. He calls them a hireling. Y'all go enjoy y'all day. I'm going to check on mom. Make sure baby all right. Y'all have a blessed one. I appreciate you all. I really do. I thank God for allowing me to be able to teach you all in such a capacity. We started out little, man, but we done grew. I know I've said some things that made some people mad and upset, but I'm giving y'all the truth as I've seen it. I'm gonna break this stuff down. You know, social media gonna act up, but don't give up. Social media gonna act up, but don't give up. Why? Because they don't want you all to be informed in the way that God is informing His people. One thing about God, if God be for you, can't nobody be against you. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. Can't stop it. And God know I'm just that retarded enough to believe in Him, to sit on this thing every day and press these buttons and give y'all all that information. Give you all of that information. And the hurtful and scary part is, y'all gonna start to see this stuff popping up. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff gonna start to pop up. And you have to be taught to know, to have an understanding of what's getting ready to happen. I ain't a problem with it, baby. We're gonna walk it. We're gonna walk it. This is a heavy week. We're gonna walk it. That you do not get caught up in the arrogance, nor the deception, nor the persecution. Because keep in mind, prophecy in that book of Revelation is dealing with the ungodly. It's dealing with the ungodly. This is why when Jesus take the seals off of the book represents the will. The book represents the will of God for His people. The seals that's coming off of the book represents the people who are present, that the will may be open. If I had some brothers and sisters, it's 7 of us, and it's time to do the will that Daddy left us. But if all brothers and sisters are not present, one might think, I ain't coming. We can't open the will. We can't read what's in the will. The will can't be open. Everybody have to be present in order for the will to be open. All 7 seals had to be present, that the book that was sealed closed can be opened, which is the will of God for the people of God. And God has put us on game, His people, of what's going to happen in the ending of time, the prophecy. Because God is not going to destroy the godly with the ungodly like He once did during the time of Noah. He's going to deal with the ungodly and make sure that the godly are all right. And for those who are not genuine believers, those who don't have genuine faith, it's going to be hard for them. Why? Because you really have to have faith in God to believe the will of God that He have for your life. Now, if I would have went to school, I probably, if I went to, I probably would, here they come, yeah, okay. Dude ain't never been to Bible college. Dude never been to Bible seminary. So how in the world he know all that and y'all don't? How in the world is he able to even convey that book like that? Ain't nobody but you. I'll go up there. That's what I'm talking about. And we ain't did the same message yet, other than teach 10%. We ain't did the same message yet. But the average pastor, he ain't got but 10 messages. He ain't got but 10. 10. And y'all done heard him 10,000 times. The woman with the issue of blood, Peter walking on water, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Daniel in the lion's den, feed the 5,000, Lazarus, Jairus and his daughter, Moses with the Red Sea. Come on, man. Then they get the big and they talk and lie on Cain, talking about Cain. Cain was jealous of Abel. How, bro? That was his brother. He wasn't jealous of him. He just was wicked. Even right then, God was putting us on game, how to straighten this thing out. But anyway, here come these people talking. I don't know. They be having some people saying some real wild stuff. Show it to me in the book. You bring me the book, I'll read it. You bring me the book, I can read it. If I can't do nothing else, God let me be able to read incomprehensible. I'll wait for y'all scriptures and books and tallies and whatever else y'all have. I read it. Just make sure that if you give it to me to read, you can explain what you want me to read. You have to be able to explain it. Like the brother, I'm gonna call the brother. He called his brother, right? Brother get on the phone, talking about the name. I said, what you mean the name? Jesus? No, Yeshua. Okay, well, okay. What's all these other names? He got some other names. Yeshua ain't his only name. Somewhere I read the Christ. Somewhere I read the Son of God. Somewhere I read the Redeemer. Somewhere I read the Lamb. Somewhere I read the Lion. Somewhere I read the Bright and Morning Star. Somewhere I read that the Prince of Peace, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God. I mean, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Name Yeshua. What the world? What the world? God said, I am that I am. That works for me. At times he was Yahweh. Sometimes he was Jehovah. Okay. Jehovah, Yahweh, I am that I am. Prince of Peace, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, God, Lord. You know a name, but don't know nothing about God. Back to the Bible. They wanted to make their name great. We're going to build a city and make a name. God said, don't worry about Abraham. Come here. I'm going to make your name great. I'm going to bless you, I'm going to bless whoever bless you, I'm going to bless them. Whoever curse you, I'm going to curse them. And I'm going to make you a father of many nations. Boy, I got you covered. Because man always worried about making his name great. Lord have mercy. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Hey, did the Saints, I went to sleep last night. My mom fell asleep. Did the Saints win last night? All right, y'all can cuss me out when I get off. That's bye. Hold up. I didn't see, that's where y'all wrong at, because I didn't say did the New Orleans Saints win last night. I said did the Saints win last night. So you always supposed to say, yeah, Pastor Mike, the Saints win all the times. Why? Because when I read the Bible, it said, and they prayed for the Saints. They didn't say the New Orleans Saints. They said the Saints. So I said, did the Saints win last night? Yes, the Saints won last night. That's why we was woke, God wake us this morning. So we good. But y'all be right. Y'all see how perception, boy. Y'all a mess. Y'all a mess. Now y'all ready to cut me out. But I wasn't talking about them. I wasn't talking about them. I wasn't talking about them. I'm talking about the Saints of God. My bad. Be specific, Pastor Mike. Y'all right. Y'all right. I have to be specific. Did the Saints of God win last night? We win every night. Get off this thing. Boy, y'all about to cuss me out for free. For free. For free. They'll do it for free, Pastor Mike. I know.